only. This is Ezekiel and Zechariah all over again. Go count the number of people. Look at their hearts. Are they ready for me, or is it just religion? Are they ready for me, or are they just going through the motions? Are their hearts with me? Are they living? Are they loving me? When Yeshua said, if you love me, you will do what? Obey me. You will follow me. So it's not a list of do's and don'ts, because God's got that covered already, Yeshua, on the cross. But what he is asking is, are you walking with me? And as you heard me say before, we are perfect, imperfect children of God. God sees us as perfect, but we're in process. Go figure why he does that, but that's what he does. So, measure these people here, these Jewish people, are they ready for my return? Are they ready? And then we're going to see what God does next. Notice what he says next. He says, but exclude the outer court. Do not measure it, because it has been given to the Gentiles, and they will trample on the holy city for 42 months. Okay, hit the next slide, please. Okay, this is the Temple Mount today. Okay? Here is the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Here is the Dome of the Rock. That is not a mosque, by the way. What the Dome of the Rock is literally on this rock. Supposedly Abraham was going to sacrifice Isaac on it. And here is where Muhammad took off on his horse to heaven. So they built this dome. It's not a mosque, but it is a holy site. Here is the Al-Aqsa Mosque, the third most holiest site in Islam. Now, can you imagine? God is saying there's going to be a third temple. Where do you put it? Some people say right here, World War III, 4, 5, and 6 will all happen at the same time. Okay? You can't get rid of that. Some Jewish scholars believe it's got to be there. No one knows for a fact. But, will you make a compromise? So please get your temple back. Here's the eastern gate. That is the gate that Jesus came down below it. The archaeologists have found the temple. The gate that Jesus underneath, that is they call the Golden Gate, the eastern gate, of which Ezekiel says the prince will come through. That's Jesus. One day, here is not all of that. He'll come riding down again and walk through that gate. So, but we know that the temple faced that gate. As you walk into that gate, you went right into the temple. So it could be, look at all this space here, that the temple could go right here. Remember, we talked about the temple and the inner court were one building. But the outer court, do not measure. The Jews is going to the Gentiles at that period of time. But here's what's interesting about this. This wall, okay, is not the temple. Right here is the western wall. We're going to get a picture of that next. Here's the western wall. That is not the temple. Had nothing to do with the temple. All the western wall is the retaining wall. What Herod did, now this wall wasn't around. This got rebuilt. But all these stones here were here during Herod's time. Herod built them up so you could have this huge area for worshipers to come, especially 3 times a year. You have a lot of people here. This is not part of the temple. Herod had to build a retaining wall because, remember, on here, this is Mount Moriah. It's a pretty high spot. Underneath it, there are a lot of arches and a lot of backfilled dirt to support this Temple Mount. So when we use the word Temple Mount, we're talking about this whole area. This is the hot spot. Israel lost control of this area in 583 BC and didn't get control back until 1967. However, Israel goes, Moshe Dayan was so afraid that he already had to fight the Jordanians, the Egyptians, the Iraqis, and the Lebanese. I don't want to fight the rest of the other countries. So they gave control of, even though Israel has sovereignty here, they gave control of this piece of real estate back to Muslims. Right now, the Temple Institute has all the resources to build the temple yesterday. Priests are trained, Levites are trained. They have everything but the ark itself, which they believe is underneath here somewhere. All I'm saying here is, this area is under the control of the Gentiles right now. Scripture talks about that, doesn't it? We just read that. It's been given to the Gentiles for 42 months or 3.5 years. Zechariah 14:2 talks about. The fact that some unthinkable things are going to happen here. Keep going. It says they will trample on the holy city. What's the holy city? Jerusalem. So it does. Notice it says they will trample on the holy city for 2 months. It doesn't say they're going to trample on this. You know, this is within Jerusalem. This is what people would call Western Jerusalem. This is what people would call the Eastern Jerusalem. This is where the Palestinians want their capital, but actually they want it all. And Israel is saying, but you're seeing Israelis build, because you have a lot of Arab Israeli homes on this side, and you have Jewish homes on this side as well. So here's the west, here's the east, that's the north, here's the south. All of this are Israeli, either Arabs or Jews. You have Arab Israelis and Jews living on this side as well. The Palestinians want this as their capital. Hamas wants it all. From the river to the Mediterranean Sea, Jew-free. They don't want a Jew here at all. That is their theology. The thing that we have to keep in mind, that is their worldview. That's their worldview. That's how they make decisions. That's why what they do, it doesn't matter because it's war. Okay? They're saying that this is occupied territory. It never has been. Occupied, yes it has. Since Abraham's day on. Who's owned this area? Well, not Abraham, but from the moment Israel came in under Moses. They had it all. We won't get into the Palestinian where that came from because that is not a historical term that is abused and used incorrectly. But the point here is this. This book says that the city is going to be trampled on. Who do you got living around this city? Jewish people. This word trample is be like the